it's Ashley, Scrapping Nerd, and I'm back today with a Scraplift Crafternoon, and it's where a bunch of crafty peeps and I get together and we scraplift an amazing layout from someone. And this week's layout is from Sharmon Peterson, and she's TP Girl Scraps on Instagram, and I just loved how linear everything was on her layout, and the 4 photos that I'm assuming is 4x4. It might have been a little smaller because I think mine takes up more of the layout, but I did 4x4 photos in this kind of 4 cluster. I thought was really really neat, and so that's where I drew a lot of my inspiration from. And I'm using my P13 Summer Vibes collection, and I think this collection's so cute. It has the little Volkswagen buses in it, and it's like my dream vehicle is a Volkswagen bus. I think they are adorable, but they're so expensive to find one that is not restored, and my husband's a mechanic, and I try to convince him that he could then restore it for me, but then he's like, you find all the frames are rusted. I don't know. You know, all the mechanic talk, that's not the part that I like about the buses. I think they're just cute. So someday. But so I really liked this collection because of that. And I thought I'm scrapbooking photos of my husband and I at the Santa Monica Pier. And these are not any specific photos. There's a photo of the Ferris wheel on the pier. There's a selfie of my husband and I. There's a picture of a seagull that was on a little log in front of us when we were on the pier, and then a picture on the beach. So again, they're not huge, significant pictures, but I did take them. And then when I saw Sharmon's layout, I was like, oh, this is perfect to put like a cluster of these photos on the layout. And so you saw that I took my 4x4 photos and I matted them in just a white, like the back of a scrap paper, just a white piece of paper. And then I took my Victorian Velvet Distress ink and I just distressed the edges because I thought that it would help those photos pop up off of the background layout. And you saw I picked this layout, which was the ocean, and it has a girl on a surfboard. And I planned on covering up the girl on a surfboard, but in the end, you can't really tell that the background is an ocean layout. So sometimes that happens. But here's this scrap paper that I have from the collection, and it's a paper of the collection, but I had, I guess, used the 6 inches of the left side and saved it. And so I'm going to fussy cut out this Volkswagen and the trees. And in Sharmon's layout, she has like a square on the left side of her, or I guess it's a rectangle on the left side of her layout that has waves in it. It looks like an ocean. It's really cute. And so I flipped my layout, and then I am drawing inspiration from her, and I'm going to put this on the right side, but I didn't like it on top of the background paper that I chose, and so I had this scrap paper from the collection as well with these pink polka dots, and so I'm gonna cut it and make the rectangle like Sharmon's layout, so that it's behind my Volkswagen and my palm trees, and then it differentiates it from the background. And so I like how that turned out. I'm going to also ink the edges of this paper with the Victorian Velvet. And again, you're not going to see a lot of this one. This is just to have the hints of it behind the part that I fussy cut out. And I also wanted to make sure that the girl on the surfboard was covered. And I probably should have flipped the paper so that she was on the left side. But I was thinking about the waves, that they would look weird if I had turned the paper the other way. But then you can't even see the waves on the paper in the end anyway. So, you know, it's like you start out one way thinking something, and then the layout always evolves. And so I wanted to get my little cluster down because I wanted to make sure that the photos, something important wasn't covered. And I put my husband and I selfie up in the top corner to make sure that it didn't get covered. And then I'll put like the Ferris wheel and the beach picture on the right side so that if some of that, the palm tree leaves from the fussy cut piece, they can lay on top of the photo and you won't be covering up anything major in the photo. And so I then wanted to make sure that the pink paper, the edge of that, there was no space between the edge of that and then at the bottom where the Volkswagen is and the surfboards. I wanted to make sure that the edge of those surfboards matched the edge of the pink paper while still having the edge from the part that I fussy cut on the edge of the actual layout. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's where my head was going. So that's where I'm doing now, is trying to make sure everything lined up so that the parts that I had cut out would all match up and look nice. And at the top of the palm trees, it was the top of the paper originally, so they kind of just cut off in a straight line, and I didn't like that. So I just kind of fussy cut around the palm tree at the top and made my own little leaves just so there wasn't a straight kind of cut off of that palm tree, since it doesn't go all the way to the top of the page. But after all of that, I got the 4 cluster of photos down, and then I took my stylus and a piece of foam just to add some texture to the palm leaves so that when they're on the layout, they're not just flat. And like I said, I worked really hard to get that all matched up and decided where it went. And then I was looking at my layout and I was like, something is missing, and it's very white. And so I'm like, I should have backed the photos in a pink to pull out the pink from the surfboards and just the overall and the pink of the polka dots and kind of the vibe. So what I did is I just grabbed this scrap piece of paper because I'd already glued down the white paper that I backed the photos with. So I just took the scrap paper and my Victorian velvet and I went around and I inked the edges of the photo mats so that you would only see the pink behind the pictures. And I had to pull up the corners of my photos that I had already glued down, and it kind of makes, there was some like curl to the photo, so I have to extra glue it back down. But it turned out okay, and I think inking the photo mats of the photos helped them pop up off the page more and didn't blend in, because I was like, why is this looking very bland? But yeah, that one simple detail of just inking those photo mats really helped pop those pictures off the layout and add a little pizzazz to it as well. So I did that to all 4, and you can see I had to glue down the corners again because they were sticking up a lot now that I had pulled them up and curled them back just in order to ink the photo mats. But now I can get everything kind of laid down with the edge. I wasn't sure how far, if I needed to stick something under it, so I only glued down the right edge to match up with the layout for now, and I left it so that I could tuck things under it if I wanted. And in Sharmon's layout, she had another rectangle at the bottom. And so this scrap here, I'm mimicking hers that she did at the bottom. And I thought this would be a good place to put my title. And it's not an original title. It just says Santa Monica Pier. And so I thought that would be a good placeholder for that. And then this, like I said, this was just a scrap that I had from that P13 Summer Vibes. But I went into my letters stash and I pulled out some Pink Fresh Days of Splendor letters. And I thought these letters would work perfect with this collection because it's all the different colors. And I'm talking about the letters, and I didn't realize I wasn't doing that next. But the Pink Fresh letters were different colors, and they matched the colors from the P13 collection, and I thought this was the perfect layout to mix the colors of the title. I don't necessarily like that, so I don't use that technique often, but since these letters already come mixed up and all of them match, I think that it turned out pretty good. And so you'll see that whenever I get to the letters. I pulled in from the ephemera the 2 flags, and I stacked them on top of each other in this little camera circle, and I put that, it says Summer Breeze, I put that under our selfie. And then I just took one of the pink scraps of paper and some yellow washi that I had, and I put that just as a little tag behind that bottom piece, because I lined that bottom rectangle up with the pink side rectangle, and so I felt like it left kind of a big gap between that and the photos. So I just wanted to add that little scrap paper behind there. And then I was looking through the rest of the ephemera for something to put on this piece, and I found some of these florals, and I tried different kinds, but you'll see I end up with the pink and the little white one, and I just kind of put that in the corner, and it just adds something. And then I took my liquid pearls and I put little dots around, kind of mixed in with the pink polka dots, and then down there by the floral. But I believe that's everything for the layout, guys. So make sure you check out all the information below for everyone that joins in with Scraplift Crafternoon. They'll do amazing things with Sharmon's layout. Make sure you check out her page as well. She has beautiful things. And thank you to everyone that has liked and subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit those buttons. Everyone have a great day. Bye.